So I think I've cracked the VR process a bit. I think like I've cracked it like 40-50% after watching a few videos and also testing out a particular proof of concept, which is now on Photoshop. You can see I can move around in this 3D space. It's like a fake 3D space, but what is VR, right? It's basically, imagine you're in a sphere, right? Inside a sphere, you're a single point inside the sphere, and the sphere is basically a wraparound of the environment that you're in, basically. And that environment is what you create. That environment is what you project to, right? And as you move around, you just move around inside inside a sphere, right? So that exactly is the workaround or working of VR, if that makes sense, right? So what I've understood is that for this particular project, all we got to do is design this environment, right? And we can design this environment on Photoshop, right? Which is like the base environment, putting in all the elements and the artifacts, right? It has to be in a flat, what do you say? It has to be in a flat composition, right? Right, and the edges of this composition, need to be seamless, right? Because when you're going to wrap it around, you can't have that line be seen. It has to be seamless, so that either we blur the edges or it has to be seamless in a way wherein we don't see any line, wherein you see suddenly a line in the sphere. That can't happen. And then once we have this, we can then take it into Premiere Pro or After Effects for that matter, and in Premiere Pro we can again add we can composite on it. We can animate a few things such as the text. Can add clouds, add like particles, sound, and the transitions, whatever. So so there's two parts to this. One is creating the composition, creating the design of the environment on Photoshop, and then taking it into Premiere Pro, adding in the extra effects, animating a few things, having it basically motion for like 15 to 30 seconds, and then saving that as a 360 video, which is not the hard part at all. But the only tricky part over here is basically designing 8 of these, because the client has requested 8 different unique environments, right? So here's where the real kind of work starts, which is creating 8 unique styles, and then having designers to design this environment with these particular guidelines that I have, and then having them shipped over to the video editor, who's going to then compose it on top of this and then export the 360 videos, and that's our final product. And then we take that and we take it to the tech team and have them test it out. I feel we'll do that. We'll make one first and then test it out with the tech team. So then the tech team can give a feedback that, hey, okay, this is what's working. We can increase the resolution, or we can decrease the resolution. We can change the dimensions. The tech team will give a feedback loop to my initial team, and that team will then make changes and then set the guidelines straight, revise the guideline, and then produce the rest of the videos so that everything is smooth, right? So, yep, that's the process. So after third point is basically tech test. We got to test it out, right? Because it doesn't make sense making all the videos and then finding out that the videos don't work at all on the device. I don't want to fall into that kind of an issue. And I think that applies to anything that you're doing with tech, which is test shit out, like test what you're making before producing anything. That's the reason why you create an MVP before launching your product, because you need to have feedback and see whether things are working at the end of the day. So yep, I'm pretty sure we'll get feedback with regards to the dimensions, frame rate, resolution, and if something is not seamless or something is like breaking, we can have that changed and incorporated. And I think there's going to be at least 3 to 4 days of testing and having things rectified. So we'll spend about a week to design everything, another week to edit everything up, and testing for another 3 to 4 days, and then have everything shipped. So yep, that's pretty much it. I mean, I know it sounds easy, but I think it's time to get to execution. Cheers.